Well, hello ladies and gents, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of The Path of Life. Today we're talking about some Tuesday night steel shooting that we did this last Tuesday. We had a little bit of an interesting situation going on, a unique opportunity. We had the same course set up this last week that we had the week previous. I posted up my analysis of that shooting in last week's video, and today we have a cool opportunity to compare the first time shooting through that course to the second time shooting through that course to see if any of the observations that I made and some of the training changes that I made were effective. So if you're into this kind of stuff, then stay tuned here on this video. If you just want to watch the regular shooting video of just the stages, blowing through the stages without any of me jabbering at you, then there's a link somewhere around over here. Click on that. Okay, so first let's talk about stage one. Now, stage one last week was actually the third stage that I shot, so I was already kind of warmed up and everything, and I shot that stage really well. I had 4 misses total on the stage, 4 pickup shots, 3 on the Texas Star and 1 on the last string of 6 targets. So watch through last week's real quick. So yeah, you can see it was a pretty good run. Now let's take a look at this week's.
Ready? Stand by. Come on.
So right out the gate, I was having some misses, and a lot of this was due to almost all of my dry fire this last week was with iron sights. I just got some new iron sights on my gun, and I've been trying to just dry fire with them, get used to them, and that was a detriment to me for competing carry optics at this steel competition. I don't think I dry fired once in between last week's and this week's with my optic mounted. It was all iron sights, and so I was immediately hitting off and struggling with keeping on the dot and holding stable. For that plate rack, had 4 or 5 misses on the Texas Star. Again, only 1 miss on that last string of 6 in a different spot, but I feel pretty good about that last string of 6. But yeah, definitely could have been better. Now moving on to stage 2. Last week I shot this stage pretty bad, mostly because I had exited a box with a miss, came back into the box, picked it up, and then continued on, had a standing reload. This week, I was really trying to just blow through the stage without doing a reload, but I got a little ahead of myself and had too many misses on the little squares. I was able to do the transitions on the big targets and the transitions from box to box pretty decently. So I beat my time pretty well from last week, but I had to do a reload to get that last target knocked down, which kind of sucked. It would have been great if I had been able to do that all with 1 magazine. Now, stage 3 is an interesting stage. Last week I had 2 pretty terrible strings and then 1 really good string.
Come on. Are you ready? Stand by. Are you ready? Stand by.
This week I had 3 mediocre strings. I missed on nearly everything, and I think that the biggest problem that I had, it took us about 15 to 20 minutes from the time that we moved to that stage until we actually were able to start shooting it, just watching the squad before us go through it, and I just got hyper focused on it, too much so. And I was just focusing so hard on the time that I don't think that I focused on actually making my hits. I missed almost every single target. So it kind of sucked, but I did beat my stage score from last week, and that was because I had 3 mediocre strings and no complete dud strings. So now moving on to the last string. Last week I did pretty decently on this string. I don't think that I screwed up too bad. There was a couple things that were a little bit weird and shaky about it, but I don't think that it was horrible. This week I was trying to get through the whole string without doing a reload, and was nearly successful. Similarly to stage 2, I had to do a reload to get that last shot off. So that was kind of hard to take in, just that, yeah, I could have gone through that whole thing without doing a reload if I had just slowed myself down. So biggest takeaway, I think, for me this week with running through these stages again is just the same reminder that I get all the time, is that I need to slow down and really make sure that I'm placing my shots, because if I had just done that, then I wouldn't have had to reload so much. That significantly cuts down on time, even if it takes me a little bit longer to place some of those shots. Definitely some good practicing tips that I got out of this, especially to make sure that I'm practicing with my optic when I'm going to be competing with my optic, and to slow myself down and make sure that I'm getting my hits. I have a laser trainer that's in the mail that's coming this way, and I'm going to be doing a review on that. I'm interested to see if that will help me to visualize more when I'm dry firing where I'm placing my first shot. That will be, I think, a big help to me for the draw to first shot, and making sure that that's placed correctly. When you're dry firing, the hardest thing with it is that you're practicing all of these fundamentals, but you're not able to really visualize your accuracy. So I'm hoping that this thing will be assistive in that. I'll be doing a video on that here when I get it, and then as we work through it and see if that is a beneficial thing. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you found it to be fun, enjoyable, maybe a little bit insightful. Not really, but that's okay. Anyway, we will be shooting Tuesday Night Steel again this next week, and maybe it'll be the same thing, and I'll have a redemption, true redemption stage. All in all, I increased my overall time by about 4 seconds, and yeah, so I feel okay. It's improvement. It's not drastic improvement or vast improvement. So till next time, take care of yourselves, everybody. Make it a great day. Peace out.